Tessa from MamasGeeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel.
And just for, I think everybody in the room, I would love if everybody could just first go around and introduce themselves and their names.
Matthew David Rudd. I play Panda in the movie.
I'm Panda. Hi, I'm Allegra Clark. I am the voice of Maki Zen'in in the movie, and I'm also the voice of Kazumi Miwa in the show.
Hi, I'm Xander. I'm the voice of Toge Inumaki in the movie and Ali Toto in the show.
Great, thank you so much. And I think we'll just kick it off with MamasGeeky. Tessa, take it off.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time today. Absolutely loved the movie, but I'd love to know what it felt like to kind of dive into like a prequel to the show.
Ooh.
Because for all of you.
I keep telling people I felt like most of our characters, I'm sure we all felt this way, but like when you're doing a series, you kind of land on what your character sounds like and who they are and everything like that about halfway through recording. So for me, it was so cool to go back with all that information now and go back and be that full character in a movie. It was super cool.
Maki has such an interesting arc overall. So it was really interesting getting to meet her at an earlier point in the series where she's even more surly and even more guarded, because it's the events of the movie that teach her to be slightly more open and slightly more willing to make friends the way that she is in the movie and the way that she, in the show, and the way she develops those friendships in the show. So it's kind of interesting to play that one of the before points.
I said rice ball ingredients.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
no idea.
How did you feel about that character arc of being able to say rice ball ingredients more in a movie?
It's so interesting because like you do have to like express a character arc, but like your line just says,
tuna mayo.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, let's see what meaning we can imbue into this.
Salmon.
I love that Panda's like your official translator, by the way. Like,
yeah,
I like having that role.
Tom?
I love how goofy him and Panda get to be together. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I love beating up Panda.
Yes, you do.
I do that. I kick your butt, dude.
Tom, you're up next.
Hi, yeah, kind of piggybacking off what you just said. Xander, this might be a controversial question. I don't want to cause World War III on Twitter, but are you a fan of rice balls and sushi?
Oh yeah, no. My partner makes like incredible. I don't think I really had rice balls until my partner like made them for me, and I was like, oh my god, because I don't know where do you go to get rice balls? Is there like restaurants for that?
Yeah, I mean, just go to Little Tokyo, dude.
Come on, Xander.
Well, okay, so imagine I'm an idiot, and then stop imagining. That's real life.
Okay, that tracks. That tracks
yeah.
with what I know about you.
Do you crave rice balls after a recording session?
I do.
A very personal question, sir.
I definitely do.
Yeah.
I think he was coming on today.
I crave rice balls after watching Xander in a session. Yes.
Yeah, after watching the movie, I was like both crying a little bit, and then I was like, I could really go for sushi right now. Like,
yes.
The crying part is important to note. There was definitely a lot of crying.
Daniel?
Uh-oh, Daniel, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Oh.
You were unmuted for a second, and then you remuted.
There we go.
Yay!
We did it. We did it.
Guys,
Otherwise, Matt was going to have to like translate for you the entire time.
We would have made it work. Yeah. You guys have had experience working on the Jujutsu Kaisen anime, but just like this movie has set box office records in Japan. And what has it kind of been like to see the show's popularity increase since the start of the show and kind of culminate with this movie?
It's been crazy. When you start recording something, I mean, we all started around episode 4, so we knew people were really excited for the show, and we knew that it was doing really well. But then as we continued to record it, it was like, oh, people really like this. And it was I'm blanking on the actual proper term for the arc, but the school battle arc. That was like, it seemed like everything really exploded right around then, and the introduction of like the rest of the students and all of that and their dynamics. And so it's always really cool when that happens, because you never know. You could think that a show is really cool and then not actually realize that it doesn't do well, and you're like, oh, that's a bummer. And then something like
every
Jujutsu
other
Kaisen
show we're
happens.
in.
Yeah, like a lot of other stuff I'm in. I'm just like, oh, that's really good. Why don't people appreciate it the way it should be appreciated? And then you do get stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen where it's like, it is really good and people are super into it. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so happy we're all sharing this right now.
Yeah, it's been really interesting for me going to conventions as people are getting vaccinated and everything. We're able to go out to more conventions. And for a while, there's a few months where it was like, oh, no one's really asking me about Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, it's a cool show. I hope, I hope people get into it. And really over the last few months, it's exploded in the sense that like, there are lines of people now like ready to ask questions, wondering when it's going to go, wondering when season 2 is going to be out, all that stuff. So it's been fun to see that happen in the course of going to conventions and meeting fans and everything.
I did a convention in January and they're like, so are you doing the movie? And I'm like, I can't talk about that yet. Maybe. And I'd already recorded by then. So I'm just like, I can't say anything. Who knows?
Nice.
Xander, do you have any tuna mayo to contribute?
Salmon roe, kelp.
Oh, my dog's trying to eat something off the floor. Come here. What are you doing? You know not to do that.
Yeah. No, it's been I like Matt said, like without fail, every convention I go to, like there is just a bunch of people being like, oh my God, Toge is the best. And like when we're recording, we're just doing a job, right? Like we're in isolation. So obviously it's really nice when you get that like, oh my God, you like what we do? Really?
Thank you for enjoying this.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's been really, really lovely.
When it's not just me blowing up your DMs being like, oh, I love Toge.
Oh, that meant so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, after he recorded the movie, Matthew was like, oh, he sounded so good. I was the first person to record, so I didn't hear anyone. I didn't know anyone, any messages. It was great. I just got to get them. I was like, yeah, that's right. I did do a good job.
If you leave this movie and aren't in love with Maki, you're insane. You're insane.
Aw, shucks. It's a good story for her. It's a really good part of the story.
Gig, you're up next.
What was your guys' initial reactions when you heard there was going to be a prequel movie?
Well, we knew the manga existed, that the prequel manga existed. So it was like, are they going to do anything with it? But I'm pretty sure I was just like shocked Pikachu when they said they were going to do it. I was like, oh, what? Oh, this is going to be so cool. Because they announced it like right as the show stopped airing in Japan. Yeah. Like right after episode 24.
Yeah.
So, we knew before we actually finished recording the show that this was going to happen. And so I think I really loved making fun of the main trio in the show. It's like going to Anne and being like, we got the movie, you're not in the movie. Like this is our thing. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
They've really excited for it. So
yeah. I mean, they're super supportive and everything, which is wonderful. But yeah, I think all three of us probably felt the same way. Like, oh, we want more of our characters. What was their first year like and all that. And so it's really cool to be able to.
A disaster, a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Why are they all so jaded in their second year? Oh, this is why.
Yeah, I immediately started consulting on who my celebrity replacement was going to be. I was thinking George Clooney.
Right.
Which just because, come on, you hear George Clooney say, tell me rice ball ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really glad when they said we were coming back, because I was like, oh my God, like for a live action movie? And they said, no, it's animated. And then I went, that makes way more sense.
Yeah. Imagine Xander giving a serious answer.
Well, and to be fair, like, you say George Clooney, but I contacted, production immediately and said, if you want to replace Xander, I will do the voice. And they said we will keep you in mind. You and George Clooney are at the top of the list. But
It's
contractually, contractually, I feel like they were obligated to bring you back.
Yeah, if they were bringing the rest of us back, they were just like, we can't just recast Xander. Yeah. So you're welcome. You're welcome. They wanted us so much that they were willing to continue working with you.
Thank you. It's too early for this. I feel attacked.
I love how I said I was going to beat up on Matt, and then now I'm just beating up on Xander.
We're just
instead.
ganging up
What
on
the hell,
Xander.
dude?
This is great. I love this.
Glad I asked. Thank you.
Tessa, we'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, so like if curses were real and you could kind of have powers from, anyone in the show or the movie, what would you pick? Would you just say ingredients, or what would your power be?
Ooh,
I think Toto's power is having a rockin' bod, so I'm gonna go with that.
that's fair. Oh gosh. Well, I know what I wouldn't pick, which is I would not pick Inumaki's anything, because I have too much to say. If you told me I could only speak in rice ball ingredients, I'd go crazy. Like, bless him for not going crazy, honestly.
Just that one time, it's like, okay, son of a, then everyone dies.
Yeah,
Oh
pretty
my
much. Pretty much. And with me driving through Los Angeles, there'd be a lot of dead people.
This is going to be totally self-serving, but like if I could transform into a giant gorilla and like wreck shit, then I'm all about that.
That's fair.
So,
Maki has a lot of like badass normal stuff, so I know she has a lot of angst on the subject, but she is really strong and really cool. So honestly, I would probably pick the super strength and super healing, and as we saw in the series itself, I'd pick to catch a bullet. That was pretty awesome. I'd catch a bullet.
Tom?
Yep, so the pandemic's, well, I hate to jinx it, but the pandemic is essentially over at this point, and there's some level of normality with going to the cinema or theater again. Why should, well, I say probably again, Jujutsu Kaisen is probably the first film that the majority of the anime fans can go and see a film in the theater. So why is it important that people make the effort and travel and go see this on the big screen rather than just wait until it comes out on streaming?
Well, our residual checks mostly.
For money.
Oh my god.
Money purposes. No, I mean, I'd say to just continue showing support for the show and for the franchise. And especially because, if something does really well in Japan, but it doesn't necessarily do well in the US, it doesn't necessarily motivate companies to keep wanting to work with us and wanting to localize it. They could have just as easily just done the Japanese release of this movie and said, like, screw you guys. So obviously we're very grateful that we get to continue to work on it. And I think supporting the film in general and also supporting our work means that we get to continue doing our work. And that's important and special to us. Also, it's a good story. Everyone should just go watch it right now.
Yeah, let me give a better answer. Okay, hang on.
Wow.
So one of the things I love about Jujutsu Kaisen, like I was so happy to be a part of it, was because it's like dripping with style, right? You can see it. You can see. I come from an art background, like the hand drawn effects of like the curses and all that sort of stuff is so cool. And then you go see this movie, right? Okay, and this movie is like super widescreen. They up the frame rate to like smooth 30 frames a second. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's like going,
It is very sexy animation.
There's a huge difference between like watching My Little Pony on Disney and then seeing the My Little Pony movie. I'm referencing that for some reason.
You have kids. We're not going to judge you. It's fine.
It's the same sort of jump here where this is a gorgeous animation, but then the movie like ups it to a whole new level. It's beautiful. The action scenes are super fluid. Speaking of Maki just being amazing in the whole movie, her stuff when she's like flipping and spinning and all that sort of stuff is super smooth, super amazing. It's a very cinematic experience.
Yeah.
So that's why you see it in the theater. I'm so happy that it's in IMAX too, because like all of that on the huge screen is just going to be amazing.
We saw
let
it.
me give
We-
a worse answer.
Rice
So
balls.
Toge's got just some awesome moments in this movie, and he's also
does.
a really sweet boy. So you should go see it because I'd really appreciate it. That'd be nice.
If you want to hear Toge just speak rice ball ingredients and Panda actually explain how sweet of a boy he is throughout the entire movie,
It's true.
then
This is
that's
the
what
one
you
for
should
you.
do.
This is it.
Yes.
The cinematic experience.
Hey, let me tell you why this boy's sweet.
Oh,
Aw. Let me explain why Maki's not a very nice person. Why she has a huge chip on her shoulder.
That's really the dynamic, right? It's you guys are witnessing the real dynamic of those characters. It's like, Maki says something abrasive, Panda says, "Oh, come on, Maki, settle down," and then Toge says something that no one can understand and don't really understand why he's introducing it into the conversation. And Panda says, "Oh, he's a sweet boy."
Yeah.
oh yeah. No, I so secretly I play it like he's just over your guys' shit every line I get the chance to do.
Yeah.
Like you guys have this banter and then it's just salmon roe, whatever. And it's just like it's salmon roe.
I'm so sorry you guys are starting your day with us and the three of
Yeah.
us. You could have started with Lex and KG and you're stuck with
You could be with KG right now. Oh
you're
my
stuck
gosh.
with the peanut gallery over here. Over in room 3.
Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.